Mataji, shall I start? Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This evening's reciters are Andrew Prabhuji for English and Kusum Mataji for Sanskrit. And they're reading from Canto 3, Chapter 20, verses 18 to 35. Mataji, please could you also start with the invocation, please? 3 times. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. We'll start today's recitation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 3, Chapter 20, verse 18. Sasarja chaya vidyam pancha parvan magataha tamistram tamo moho mahatmaha.
Hare Krishna. First of all, Brahma created from his shadow the coverings of ignorance of the conditioned souls. They are 5 in number and are called Tamisra, under Tamisra, Tamas, Moha, and Maha Moha.
Text 19. Visasarjartmanaha kayam nabhi nandastamo momayam jagruhu yakshara shansi ratrim shutrupsa samudbhavam.
Out of disgust, Brahma threw off the body of ignorance, and taking this opportunity, yakshas and rakshas sprang for possession of the body, which continued to exist in the form of night. Night is the source of hunger and thirst.
Shutrudabhyamupasrushtaste tam jagatumabhidrudruvaha ma rakshatenam jakshadvavamityuchu shutrudadritaha.
Overpowered by hunger and thirst, they ran to devour Brahma from all sides and cried, "Spare him not, eat him up."
Devastanaha sanvigno mam jakshat rakshat aho me yaksharashanshi prajayuyum babhuvita.
Brahma, the head of the demigods, full of anxiety, asked them, "Do not eat me, but protect me. You are born from me and have become my sons. Therefore you are yakshas and rakshas."
Devata prabhaya yaya divyam pramukhato srijat te aharsur devayantu vishrashtam tam prabham aha.
He then created the chief demigods who were shining with the glory of goodness. He dropped before them the effulgent form of daytime, and the demigods sportingly took possession of it.
Devo deva jagantaha sujrati smati lolupan te enam lolupatya maithuna yabhipedire.
Lord Brahma then gave birth to the demons from his buttocks, and they were very fond of sex because they were too lustful. They approached him for copulation.
Tato hasansa bhagwan sure nirpatpre anviya manastarsa krudo bhita parapatat.
The worshipful Brahma first laughed at their stupidity, but finding the shameless asuras close upon him, he grew indignant and ran in great haste out of fear.
सा उपाव्रज्य वरदं प्रपन्नर्ति हरं हरिम् अनुग्रहा भक्तनाम् अनुरूपत्मा दर्शनम्.
He approached the personality of Godhead who bestows all boons and who dispels the agony of his devotees and of those who take shelter of his lotus feet. He manifests his innumerable transcendental forms for the satisfaction of his devotees.
पाहि मां परमात्मन्स्ते प्रेष्णेनासृजं प्रजाः ता इमा यभितुन् पापा उपाक्रामन्ति मान प्रभो.
Lord Brahma approached the Lord, addressed him thus: My Lord, please protect me from these sinful demons who were created by me under your order. They are infuriated by an appetite for sex and have come to attack me.
त्वम् एक किल लोकानां किलष्टानं क्लेशनाशनः त्वम् एक क्लेशदस्तेषां नास्नपदान्तव.
My Lord, you are the only one capable of ending the affliction of the distressed and inflicting agony on those who never resort to your feet.
सोऽवधायारस्य कार्पण्यं विविक्ताध्यात्मदर्शन विमुच्यात्मतनुं धोरामित्युक्तो विमुमोचः.
The Lord, who can distinctly see the minds of others, perceived Brahma's distress and said to him, Cast off this impure body of yours. Thus commanded by the Lord, Brahma cast off his body.
त्वं क्वञ्च चरणम्भोजं मदविहललोचनं काञ्चीकल्पविलासद् दुःखला चचानारोदशम्.
The body given up by Brahma took the form of the evening twilight, when the day and night meet, a time which kindles passion. But Asuras, who are passionate by nature, dominated as they are by the element of Rajas, took it for a damsel whose lotus feet resounded with the tinkling of anklets, whose eyes were wide with intoxication, and whose hips were covered by fine cloth over which shone a girdle.
अन्येनो श्लेषु योत्तुङ्गा निरन्तरा पयोधरां सुनासां सुद्विजां स्निग्धा हासलीलवलोकनम्.
Her breasts projected upward because of their clinging to each other, and they were too contiguous to admit any intervening space. She had a shapely nose and beautiful teeth. A lovely smile played on her lips, and she cast a sportful glance at the Asuras.
गुहन्तीं व्रीडयात्मान् नीलाल्कवरुतिनम् उपलभ्यासुरा धर्म सर्वे सम्मुहुः स्त्रियम्.
Adorned with dark tresses, she hid herself, as it were, out of shyness. Upon seeing that girl, the Asuras were all infatuated with an appetite for sex.
अहो रूपम् अहो धैर्यमहो अस्या नवं वयय मध्ये काम्यमानना कामेव विसर्पति.
The demons praised her. Oh, what a beauty! What rare self-control! What a budding youth! In the midst of us all who are passionately longing for her, she is moving about like one absolutely free from passion.
वितर्कयन्तो बहुधा तां सन्ध्यायां प्रमदाकृतिम् अभिसम्भाव्य विश्रम्भात् पर्यपृच्छन् कुमेधसः.
Indulging in various speculations about the evening twilight, which appeared to them endowed with the form of a young woman, the wicked-minded Asuras treated her with respect and fondly spoke to her as follows.
Kashi Kashyasi Ramboru Kop Vatrastetra Bhamini Rupadravina Panyeyan Dubhoga Nano Vibhadase.
Who are you, O pretty girl? Whose wife or daughter are you? And what can be the object of your appearing before us? Why do you tantalize us, unfortunate as we are, with the priceless commodity of your beauty?
Yava Kachetva Bale Drishtya Sandarshanam Tav Utsunoshi Kam Kashmanam Kanduka Kridaya Manaha.
Whosoever you may be, O beautiful girl, we are fortunate in being able to see you. While playing with a ball, you have agitated the minds of all onlookers.
Hare Krishna, I think I have to stop here.
Hare Krishna, yes, Mataji, up to
Hare
verse
Krishna.
number 35. Thank you very much, Kusum Mataji and Andrew Prabhu, for the very nice recitations. Hare Krishna.
Hare
So, dear
Krishna.
devotees,
Hare
please
Krishna.
accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dear devotees, while waiting for Vrindavan Chandra Prabhuji to join Chad, I'll recite the Mangalacharan prayer and then Prabhuji will take over from me. So let's all put our hands together. Let's pray very sincerely to their lordships. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gora Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Thank you very much. It's such a beautiful prayer. So, dear devotees, we'll wait a few more minutes for Prabhuji to join. In the meantime, Vrindavan Chandra Prabhuji has joined. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You were saying in the meantime, were you meaning to say
Yes,
something?
I was going to say to read your discussion verses. That's all I was going to say. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Chat Plus session. All glories to your service. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We continue with our reading and discussion of Canto number 3. Canto is entitled The Status Quo. And today we will be continuing our reading and discussion of chapter number 20, which is the discussions between Maitreya Muni and Vidura. And we'll be discussing text 22 to 25. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachade Shatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Text number 22. Devata Prabhaya Ya Devyan Pramukatu Ishrijat Te Hahar Sur Devan Devayanto Vishritam Tam Prabham Ahaha. Word for word synonyms. Devata, the demigods. Prabhaya, the glory of light. Ya, those who. Devyan, shining. Pramuktaha, chiefly. Asrijat, created. Te, they. Harsu took possession of. Dev, Vayanta, being active. Vrishritam, separated. Tam, that. Prabham, effulgent form, Aha, daytime. We are not talking about Visarga, secondary creation. He then created the chief demigods who were shining with the glories of goodness. He dropped before them the effulgent form of daytime, and the demigods sportingly took possession of it. Let me just check I'm reading the right verses. Rasalila Srimati. Yes, 22 to 25. Purport. Demons were born from the creation of night, and the demigods were born from the creation of day. In other words, demons like the yakshas and the rakshasas are born of the quality of ignorance, and demigods are born of the quality of goodness. So everything in the material world are classified according to the gunas: Tamagun, Rajagun, and Sattvagun. So even the creation of the demigods and the demons have their particular gunas. Okay. So it is said that in previous ages, the demons and the demigods were born in different planets. Then as the ages passed, from Satya to Dwapara to Treta to Kali, then the demons and the demigods, they were born on the same planet, but in different continents. And as the ages progressed, the demons and the demigods were born not on different continents, but in the same country. And as the ages passed, they were not only born in the same country, they were born in the same family. And it is said in Kali Yuga, the demons and the demigods are in the same body, meaning that living entities, they have both the demoniac and divine qualities. So, depending on the consciousness of the parents at the time of consciousness, at the time of conception, depending on the association and the upbringing one gets from birth, either the demoniac qualities will become prominent or the divine qualities will become prominent. But the living entities are by nature, the spirit soul is divine. This category of divine or demoniac is just a temporary imposition. So it is explained here that the demigods were manifested during the day, and the demons were manifested during the night. Therefore, it is said the demons during the night, they become more powerful. They start to do their nefarious activities during the night. And the demigods, they always shine forth during the day. So text number 23. Devodhevan Jagannatha Jaghannatha Srijati Smatilo Lupan Tenam Lolu Pataya Maitunaya Bipedire. Word for word meanings. Deva, Lord Brahma, Adevam, demons. Jagannatha, from his buttocks. Jug, Annatha, from his buttocks. Srijatisma, gave birth. Atilolupan, excessively fond of sex. Tede, enam, Lord Brahma. Lolupataya, with lust. Maitunaya, for copulation. Api, pendire, approached. Lord Brahma then gave birth to the demons from his buttocks, and they were very fond of sex. Because they were too lustful, they approached him for copulation. Purport. Sex life is the background of material existence. Here also it is repeated that demons are very fond of sex life. The more one is free from the desire for sex, the more he is promoted to the level of demigods. The more one is inclined to enjoy sex, the more he is degraded to the level of demoniac life. This is a good benchmark. Am I demoniac or am I divine? The people I associate with, are they demoniac or divine? So here's the yardstick. If there is inclination and strong inclination towards sex life, then we are in the category or closer to the demons. And the more we have become free from the attraction for sex life, then the more we are, as Prabhupada said, promoted to the level of demigods. Now someone may question, if we read the Bhagavatam, Lord Indra, he is the chief of the demigods. But so many times he demonstrated attraction for sex life. How is that so? How is that so? When I thought about it, it was a puzzling thing to think about in light of this verse and purport. But what recalibrated my thinking is one verse from the 10th canto, where Shukdev Goswami says great personalities, they cannot become contaminated. They are like the sun. And their real nature will shine through. And I still wasn't convinced. But in the purport, and you can read it, I'll look up the verse and I'll share it with you all. Our great Acharya Sridhar Swami is quoted. And Sridhar Swami quotes, he says, great personalities like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, they are like the sun. Even if there is some temporary apparent fall down, the real nature will shine through. And we know from Lord Brahma, at one point in time, he chased after his own daughter. Lord Shiva became bewildered by Mohini Murti and discharged semen. And Lord Indra, we know the history. But the point being is we look at intrinsic qualities. We have to look at intrinsic qualities. But Prabhupada said, don't judge others. Look at yourself. Always judge yourself before you try to judge others. So in terms of evaluating whether we are demoniac by nature or divine by nature, we can see. And if we use this criteria, we can see in this material world a vast percentage of the population do not have the qualities of the demigods. They do not. And a very small, even among religious circles, this tendency is so strong. Prabhupada quotes one story. There was an old man. He was lying on his deathbed. And his friend came to see him. And his friend brought his young, attractive daughter with him. And the moment his friend and his daughter walked through the door, this old man, even on the verge of death, his eyes got fixated on the young, beautiful girl. And Prabhupada quotes the story and says, just see how strong this material tendency is. But the path of bhakti is so wonderful. It can even help us become free of this knot. Text number 24. Tato asan sa bhagavan asurai nirapatrapai anviyamanas tarasa krudo bhitta parapatat. Tatat, then, Asan laughing, Sa Bhagavan, the worshipful Lord Brahma, Asurai by the demons, Nirapatpai, shameless, Anviyamanaha, being followed, Tarasa in great haste, Kruda, angry, Pita, being afraid, Parapatat, ran away. The worshipful Brahma first laughed at their stupidity, but finding the shameless Asuras close upon him, he grew indignant and ran in great in great haste out of fear. Purport. Sexually inclined demons have no respect even for their father. And the best policy for a saintly father like Brahma is to leave such demoniac sons. Yeah, this is shameless. In this Kali Yuga, there's just so many shameless things happen. We read so much about young people killing their own parents. Text number 25, the final verse for today's discussion. Sa upa vrajya varadam prapanarti aram harim anugrahaya bhaktanam anurupatmadarshanam. Saha, Lord Brahma, upa vrajya, approaching, varadam, the bestower of all boons, prapana, of those taking shelter at his lotus feet, arti, distress, aram, who dispels, harim, Lord Shri Hari, anugrahaya, for showing mercy, bhaktanam, to his devotees, anurupa, in suitable forms, atmadharshanam, who manifests himself. Translation. He approached the personality of Godhead, who bestows all boons, and who dispels the agony of his devotees, and of those who take shelter of his lotus feet. He manifests his innumerable transcendental forms for the satisfaction of his devotees. Purport. Hear the words Bhaktanam, Anurupatma, Darshanam means that the personality of Godhead manifests his multi-forms according to the desires of his devotees. For example, Hanumanji, Vrajdanajagi, Vajrangaji wanted to see the form of the Lord as the personality of Godhead, Ramachandra, whereas other Vaishnavas want to see the forms of Radha Krishna, and still other devotees want to see the Lord in the form of Lakshmi Narayan. The Mayavadi philosophers think that although all these forms are assumed by the Lord, just as a devotee's desire to see him actually is impersonal. From Brahma Samhita, however, we can understand that this is not so, for the Lord has multi-forms. It is said in the Brahma Samhita, Advaitam Achyutam, the Lord does not appear before the devotees because of the devotees' imagination. Brahma Samhita further explains that the Lord has innumerable forms. Ramadi Murtisho Kalaniyamena Tirshtan. He exists in millions and millions of forms. There are 8,400,000 species of living entities, but the incarnations of the Supreme Lord are innumerable. In the Bhagavatam, it is stated that as the waves in the sea cannot be counted, but appear and disappear continually, the incarnations and forms of the Lord are innumerable. A devotee is attached to a particular form, and it is that form which he worships. We have just described the first appearance of the ball within this universe. There are innumerable universes, and somewhere or other, the ball form is now existing. All the forms of the Lord are eternal. It is the Lord's inclination to worship, it is the devotee's inclination to worship a particular form, and he engages in devotional service to that form. In a verse in the Ramayana, Hanuman, the great devotee of Lord Ram, said, I know there is no difference between the Sita Ram and Lakshmi Narayan forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But nevertheless, the form of Ram and Sita has absorbed my affection and love. Therefore, I want to see the Lord in the form of Ram and Sita. Similarly, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas love the forms of Radha and Krishna and Rukmini at Dwaraka. The words Bhaktanam, Anurupatma, Darshanam means that the Lord is always pleased to favor the devotee in the particular form in which the devotees want to worship and render service unto him. In this verse, it is stated that Brahma approached Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This form of the Lord is Shirodakshai Vishnu. Whenever there is some trouble and Brahma wants to approach the Lord, he can approach Shirodakshai Vishnu. And it is the grace of the Lord that whenever Brahma approaches about disturbances in the universe, the Lord gives him relief in so many ways. So very important and insightful verse and purport. Very important. And there's quite a few points in the purport that it is worth exploring. So it is said here, Prabhupada focuses on the word Bhaktanam, Anurupatma, Darshanam. So the Lord gives the devotee his darshan in the form that the devotee wishes to reciprocate with. And Prabhupada quotes the example of Hanuman. And he quotes a verse from the Ramayana, where Hanuman is saying that he knows Lakshmi Narayan and Sita Ram are the same personalities, but he feels more attraction for Lord Ram, and he likes to worship him in that form. So all of us, we have a particular seed called Swarup Siddhi, where we will find an attraction to a particular form of the Lord. We know from the Nectar of Devotion that there is two aspects to bhakti, sadhana bhakti and raganuga bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means following bhakti under rules and regulations. That means the main impetus for our practice is the instructions of the spiritual master and the dictations of the Shastra. And Rag Bhakti means serving in spontaneous love, where spontaneous love, where it's not the rules and regulations that govern how we reciprocate with the Lord, but it is our natural affection. And that will depend upon the rasa that we have. You know, the Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. So depending on that particular mellow that we are endowed with, we'll feel attracted to the Lord in a certain way. We've been now in the temple, we are reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila. And in the Madhya Lila, there is two examples, the example of Murari Gupta and the example of Anupam. Anupam was the brother of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at some point in time, he had conversations with both Murari Gupta and Anupam. And Mahaprabhu was talking to them about the sweetness of Krishna. and he was telling them, you should worship the form of Krishna. So being very loyal followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they tried to follow. And both Anupam and Murari Gupta, they could not draw their mind away from Lord Raghunath. So eventually they went before Mahaprabhu and they cried. And they said to Mahaprabhu, you know, our hearts have been sold out. These were two separate incidents, but the conversations are very similar. Our heart is sold out to Lord Raghunath. And no matter how much we think of serving as you recommend the form of Lord Krishna, we cannot give up. So Mahaprabhu was so happy with Murari Gupta and Anupam. And he spoke the same verses in two instances. He says, glorious is that Lord who never abandons his servant. And glorious is that servant who never abandons his master. So we naturally, this has to be natural. We can't fake it. There's some strange things that happen in spiritual circles. If you go to Vrindavan, you'll see there are many people. They go to their guru and they ask the guru, what is my Swarup Siddhi? And the guru will say, oh, you're a peacock in the spiritual world. And you'll see sometimes people strutting around in Vrindavan like peacocks. Sometimes you'll tell a disciple, you are a gopi. And that disciple will dress up in a womanly form and act as a gopi. Our acharyas like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Srila Prabhupada spoke out very much against such practices. And they said Rag Bhakti is a natural state.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram.
I see a Prabhupada chanting. You know what Prabhupada is saying. I would take it as confirmation that Prabhupada was against such practices. These sort of sentiments, in the Nectar of Devotion, it is explained that only when one is thoroughly purified of all anarthas, one has passed the stage of anartha nivriti, the stage of nishta, and the stage of ruchi, then only one can delve into such subject matters. Otherwise, we'll become misled, misguided. So the whole process of bhakti is natural. As we become purified, then we'll see something's naturally appearing. We become naturally attracted to a particular form of the Lord. We don't have to, and Prabhupada says in the purport, you don't have to imagine a form of the Lord. The Lord has innumerable forms. Prabhupada quotes more than 8,400,000. And we will have attraction to that particular form. And Prabhupada says, just like an expert gardener, simply by smelling the aroma of the flowers, even if he closes his eyes, he'll be able to tell what flower it is. In the same way, the expert spiritual master, he can smell or perceive the inclination of the devotee. And then the spiritual master will say, I think you should read this chapter of the Bhagavatam. I think you should read this pastimes of the Bhagavatam. And by reading those pastimes more and more, our attraction for that particular type of form of the Lord will grow. But everything is based on purification. Prabhupada says you can't rush the process, you can't fake it. But we should aspire. We should aspire to realize. Generally, it is said those who are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they have natural attraction for Radha Krishna. But Anupam and Murari Gupta, they were also Gaudiya Vaishnavas, but they had attraction for the form of Lord Ram. The other interesting part of this purport, Prabhupada says, somewhere in some universe right now, Lord Varaha is appearing and performing his pastimes. Somewhere in some universe right now, Lord Krishna is performing his Damodar Leela. Right now, in some universe, Lord Ram is manifesting together with all of his associates and devotees and performing. The Lord has innumerable forms in these innumerable universes. And the Lord is manifesting. Therefore, it is said, when we leave our body with a particular inclination, if our inclination is towards Lord Ram, before we go to the spiritual world, we'll go to that planet within the material world where Lord Ram is performing his pastimes. We will engage in the pastimes of Lord Ram in the material world. If there's even tiny remnants of any purification that's needed, that will happen. And then we will go to the spiritual world. In the same way, if we're devotees of Lord Krishna, we'll go to that part of the universe where Lord Krishna is performing his pastimes. We'll engage in that pastimes with the Lord in the material world. And then we go to the spiritual world in any particular forms. This is the inconceivable nature of the Lord and his incarnations. So we should pray for it. And if we are genuinely applying ourselves in our spiritual life, and we are feeling a particular inclination towards a particular form of the Lord, to hear about him, to chant about him, and to worship, we should not resist that. We should take confirmation from the spiritual master and the Shiksha Gurus, the advanced Vaishnavas, and then we can pursue that and move from sadhana bhakti to raga bhakti. The goal is raga bhakti. Sadhana bhakti is the stepping stone. The goal is raga bhakti. Okay, it's just after 8:30. I'll stop here. Take any questions or any comments that anyone may have.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Reflection. Hare Krishna.
Pranam. Is Raga Bhakti same as Raganuga Bhakti?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And
Anuga,
mhm,
Anuga means to follow.
mhm,
So Raganuga Bhakti means to follow someone who's got rag. So according to Srila Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, when we have a particular inclination to a form of the Lord, we will covet a devotee who is got that rag. And by the association of that devotee, our rag. So it's Raganuga and Ragatmika Bhakti. The Bhakti is called Ragatmika Bhakti, and Raganuga is to follow
mhm.
someone who's got rag.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what Rupa Goswami explains in
Mm.
Nectar of Devotion.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Another question, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Are asuras different from yakshas and rakshasas?
It's a broad category. You get suras and asuras, the demons and the demigods, or the divine and the demoniac. So they are broad categories: yakshas and rakshasas, and
They come under asuras.
all of them come under broad category of asuras.
All right. Okay, understand.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anyone else? Okay. Thank you very much. All glories to your service, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo
Sindhubhyo cha
Patitanam
patitanam
pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo
Ananta Koti
namaha.
Vaishnavrinda ki
Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki
Hare
jai,
Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji, for a wonderful class. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.